By the way, we're going back to Butler, and we're going to go
Great.
back in October. We're all set up, and the people are fantastic in Butler. It's a great area. Great, these are incredible people. Like the three that, in the case of Corey killed, and the other two, the families are. I got to know them a little bit, and the families are great. But we're going back to Butler.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk talked about a wide variety of topics during their interview, but of course, they had to touch on the tragic situation that took place at Donald Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now, as you heard at the beginning of this video, Trump is going back. He is adamant about going back to Butler. Me, I'm kind of nervous about it. I mean, of course you would think, no, they wouldn't try it again at Butler, right? Of course you would think, hey, the security's got to be so tight, they got to get everything right. But I'm just afraid that someone's going to try something stupid. I don't necessarily think they'll be able to get to Trump at this rally, but I don't want anything happening to anyone. But Trump is going back. But during this conversation, Elon Musk was asking Trump certain questions about how he felt and what he was thinking in the moments. And it became clear that Elon Musk wasn't really trying to say too much. He wasn't trying to push too much or question too much. But it was clear the direction, that Elon Musk was headed. That he was kind of hinting towards, hey, this is kind of unbelievable what happened here. I think he was trying to get at, hey, this is a shady situation. And I think that maybe this was an inside job. But he doesn't come right out and say it. And I think Trump, I've been listening to his interviews since this situation went down, and I really question what Trump thinks about this. Because most of Trump's supporters believe that there was something shady going on here. That at the very least, this was kind of allowed to happen. Like they didn't stop it when they could have. You know what I mean? But Trump really seems to be hesitant in taking it there. But I'm going to go ahead and play this clip so you can hear part of this conversation. Let me know if you get the same vibe that I got from what Elon Musk is saying, and then I'll be right back with more.
The shooter had a lot of bullets. He had a lot of cartridges up
Sure.
there with him, so could
Well,
have been very.
that's clearly he was very confident in taking that shot to stop the attempted assassination. But I mean, there does seem to be some pretty significant failings elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy. I think most people people are wondering how on earth could such a thing happen.
Well, I view it as two ways. There should have been nobody on the roof. There were people,
Yeah,
because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing him, and there was one woman with a red shirt and
right.
Trump all over
I
it,
saw
and
the
she's
video.
and she's screaming. That guy's got a gun. You saw it probably. There's
Yeah.
a
No, I
guy
saw
up
the
there with
videos.
a
I
gun.
mean,
So.
it's like I guess, I mean, for my part, and I think probably many members of the public are wondering how the heck are, you know, basically people wondering by it, pointing out there's a guy on the roof with a gun,
Yeah.
and they're seeing it, but somehow it's not being addressed. That does seem
Yeah,
crazy.
well, they're going to learn from this.
So, do any of you all feel what I feel? Like, do you see what I'm saying with where Elon Musk was going with this conversation? But I'm telling you right now, Trump hasn't really taken it there yet. And I think one of the reasons why is because Trump knows that he still needs the Secret Service, and you can't just badmouth the Secret Service knowing, hey, I'm kind of still depending on these people to protect me. So I don't think Trump wants to come out right and say, yeah, this could have been an inside job. I think that Trump, of all people, Trump has to be very careful in how he handles this situation and what he says about this situation. Because at the end of the day, Trump still has to have a lot of these people around him, if he wants to be president. So I think that it's an interesting situation for him to navigate. But I also wonder if he views things in the way that we view things. Because in the way he talks, it doesn't seem like he does. He has nothing but kind words for most of the Secret Service agents that were out there. Whereas I don't feel the same. And I know most of you all don't feel the same either. At least those of you all who I've heard from, in the process of making and posting these videos and reading the comments. But Elon Musk, he's already talked about it a little bit in his post. Elon Musk definitely thinks that something shady happened. And even though they might not hit on that or touch on that in this live conversation that millions and millions and millions of people are listening to, I gotta believe that maybe they would have that conversation behind the scenes. But this does worry me because, for one, Trump wants to go back. And for two, it worries me because I think that Trump's mindset might be, I think that Trump may be too trusting of some of the people who are still around him. I think he may be too trusting of some of these Secret Service officers. Because, in my opinion, after, looking into the story and looking into everything that happened, hearing all of the details, reading text messages between police officers, watching the body cam footage, it's just hard for me to believe that there wasn't something else going on there. And I just think that Trump needs to keep that in mind moving forward. Because if they tried it once, or they allowed something like this to happen once, they'll do it again. They might wait for some time to pass, but they'll do it again. So he needs to be on his toes, and he needs to understand, that he can't trust basically 95% of the people around him. If they're not day ones, if they're not family, then I would keep my eye on them if I was Trump. But for now, I want you all to keep an eye on the comments below. Let me know what you feel about all of this. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.